What's going on, everybody? So I'm going to do a first impressions video of Armor Brigade 2. It came out yesterday. I did a live stream yesterday of it, and just coming out of it, I was wowed. Okay, uh, it's not easy to wow me, especially I was kind of like before I began the stream, I was having a just not a good day, right? I was like at a 5, maybe even below that, right? So I was just not at all, just not there. I began the game. I was like, all right, let's see what this game is all about. And as the game like just kind of like started going, and I started to have like engagements, it just kind of lived in my mood from like a 5 to a 95. I was really kind of blown away by this game. Uh, the reason is and if you're not familiar with Armor Brigade, it's an incredible game. Armor Brigade 1 came out a couple years back, 2018, so it's been a couple years. But the game basically allows you to command battalions, right? And it covers large swaths of a map, right? Like, so you can do a scenario just on like this side, or you could do a whole scenario just pretty much on like pretty much this entire map, right? Like an entire medium, maybe even a major city and the surrounding countryside. So it's a pretty epic game. Armor Brigade basically takes this and adds 3D to it. Now, I was thinking in my head, I'm like, when I first heard the news, I was excited. I was like, this is actually pretty cool. But playing the game, I will honestly tell you, it changes the way I play Armor Brigade. It increases just the fun factor by like leaps and bounds. I'm able to kind of like you can see how excited I am. How like just immersive it is. So like when you're playing on the 2D plane here, right? And it's cool, don't get me wrong, right? You can zoom in, you can see a tank blow up, right, and stuff like that, and you can see these units moving and firefights, and then it has nice animations. But a lot of times you're trying to figure out, all right, if I put a tank here and there's a column up here, can that tank kind of hold off here? And you're trying to think about like, well, what's the line of sight, and because you don't know how the terrain is it sloped in the middle, and you're trying to figure all this stuff out, and the game's going. But when you add 3D, you don't have to worry about that. Like, one aspect of the game that I really loved is I wanted to move a couple of tanks, because obviously you see the Soviets going here. But I was worried that they had units coming from here. But because I can see the slopes on the map, I was able to take 2 M60 Pattons, right, or M63s. I forgot which ones they were, and have them come down here and know that my line of sight is protected. That if they're in these woods over here, then they're not going to see me, because as you can see, it's kind of like a little bit of a hill. So I'm on the far side of the hill, so they were able to kind of smash. Hulk smash everything over here, and it really added to the game. Honestly, I can't tell you how it's really awesome. So I haven't played Armor Brigade in a couple years. So one thing that was on my mind was the learning curve, because you didn't play for a couple years, you kind of lose how to play the game. I was able to pick it up again in about 15, 20 or so minutes, and kind of get a good grasp on how everything works. And I'm not a tutorial guy. I like just going in, playing, and stuff like that. So I was able to kind of like figure it out, get back into the motions within like literally like 15, 20 minutes. So I really enjoyed that. And I also like a lot of other things, being able to zoom in and out, right? You could play the 2D map if you want, if you're like old school. You can play the 2D map, or you can do what I do, which is play the 3D and get all that glorious, and you can see the smokes from the, rubble of the Soviet tanks and MBTs and stuff like that. So you can get that perspective. But yeah, honestly, like, a lot of times when I think about it, going from 2D to 3D, I'm like, oh, that's probably not a big deal, right? Like, how much of a big deal is that, right? When you really think about it. But then when you play the game and you see it in motion, you're like, yeah, okay, 3D is a big difference, So honestly, I really enjoyed the game. The animations were great. I was able, again, get into the game back into 15, 20 minutes and start playing and really having some fun. I really love the size of these things. I don't know how big the name of the town here is called Floda. I don't know how big that is. I'm assuming it's a medium-sized city, but I love the fact that you can like make a whole battalion level battle of this entire region of like Germany. So yeah, going down to playing from platoons to battalions. I love the flexibility and that. And Armor Brigade 1 has such a like, in a way, kind of like almost like a cult following, right? Like people have made mods of it for World War II, different, just tons of like missions, I believe, that are out there. So yeah, honestly, Matrix Games did a really good job with this, and Vietka. I'm gonna mispronounce this, and I apologize. Vieta Studios really did a good job with this. I really enjoyed it. It, and taking me from a 5 to a 95. Thank you for that. I really needed it because, again, yesterday was just not a really good day. So having a game being able to kind of like, bring you up to that level really changes just how I feel about the game. So I'm definitely going to play probably today and kind of get a couple other campaigns going or scenarios going. The only thing that I had trouble with was with the angling the map, right? So it's kind of focused this way, and I wanted to kind of angle it so I'm facing this way, right? And I thought the Q and the E keys would do that, because normally in most games it does, but it wasn't able. I couldn't figure it out. So somebody told me that the middle button on my mouse would be able to help me do that. So I'm going to try that out today. But as you can see here, you got my patents over here coming in, and man, I'm telling you, yeah, you gotta love it, and also the sounds are good. I really enjoyed the audio work on this game. You can hear like the rumble of the tank engine, right? You can even hear like birds flying over the tank, and you can even see them right on the map. So it's really cool. It's really cool. And as you can see here, I'm really excited because I didn't think I was gonna win. I thought I was gonna get just trampled on because I haven't played the game in a while. But yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out. The game right now is on Matrix Games. So if you go to Matrix Games, it's not on Steam yet. And it's $35.99, 10% off, so it's normally $40. And I was saying during my live stream, and some people are going to disagree with me. Some people will agree with me. I honestly think this game is worth more than $40. Because honestly, I've played AAA games that, retail for $60, $70. And, like I play it and I'm like, a lot of times you're thinking like, yeah, it's not really worth the $60, $70. And they have budgets of like $100 to $200 million. And you're like, where did that money go? Kind of thing. With a game like this at $40, and you see all the stuff that they did in this game, you're like, they did a lot of work for $40. Just ask them for $40. So the game's out on MatrixGames.com. It's not on Steam, and then there's reasons why it's not on Steam yet, and I believe it's gonna be coming out in 2025. And the reasons are it's because when you putting a game on Steam, you have to adapt the game for the Steam multiplayer library. You also have to update it differently. So it has a few things that you have to change for the game. But I highly recommend buying it on Matrix Games first. No matter what you do, whenever you buy a game, I always recommend buying it on Matrix Games. My buddy Yanni always does that. He doesn't buy it on Steam first. Always buys it on Matrix Games because you get a copy of the game on Matrix Games. You can re-download it in the future as well. But they also give you a code that you can redeem on Steam. So you have two places to get the game in the future. So like, he doesn't buy the game on Steam. He's just like, I'll wait for it to go on sale on Matrix Games, then I'll get the code, redeem it on Steam, so I have two places to get it from. And honestly, that's the best way to do it because, for both the publisher, because Matrix Games takes out Steam takes out 30% of the cut, so the developer loses 30% of the game. When you do it through Matrix Games, Steam doesn't take that cut. You get the redemption code, so you help the developer out. Plus, you also get 2 places to download it from, so it's always a great thing. Anyway, I just wanted to say that this game was really great. I really love the animations, the effects on here. The zooming, in and out is very fluid. I stayed at like 60 frames per second, as you guys can see right here. It's like pretty much 50. When you zoom further in, it goes down to 50. And I have a mid-range graphics card, so I have a AMD 6600. I think it's 8 gigs of RAM, so it's able to handle it. Now, mind you, they're just 2 companies fighting each other, and it's a small part of the map here. So if you wanted to play something quite a bit bigger, like where is it? We were just looking at it. If you want to play, I don't know, maybe this entire region with a couple of battalions, you might want to spring for a higher-end graphics card and a bigger CPU and more hefty CPU. I just want to put that out there. But anyway, props to Matrix, props to Viatica Studios for this. You guys, man, thank you. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoy this. Catch you in the next one. See you then.